You know, I kind of snuck out of the house today. I sure hope my wife or daughter don't kill me when I get home. And they found out that I went for a ride. Welcome back to Me and My Shadow. How the heck's everybody doing? It's a gorgeous Saturday morning here in Texas. I thought I'll go for a little ride. So it's a brisk 62 degrees out. Ooh, feels so good, my guys and gals that are watching my channel. Brief channel update. We are past 300 subscribers, which completely blows me away. You know, you'd think 300 subscribers is not that much, but I never expected to have like over 20, to be 100% honest with you. I mean, if you think about it, can you fit 300 people in your house? It's a lot of people. So thank you. It's so greatly appreciated. I really appreciate every single one of you. It's not just lip service. It's true appreciation for people liking what I do and watching my channel. And I know my videos have gotten quite a bit longer, so I'm going to work on shortening those up because I can obviously ramble on for days and days and days. So what's on my mind today? What's on you guys' mind today? It's turning into beautiful riding weather season, obviously. At least it is down here in Texas. It might actually be quite a bit chillier. Sorry, I just hit a big bump. Wherever you're at. I mean, but 60 degrees here in Texas is just about perfect. Matter of fact, to be honest with you guys, I don't know how to act. I'm actually almost cold. Where does that road go? But the overall theme of this video today, guys, is going to be about cost. I noticed that there's quite a few comments from folks that are just getting started, and you know, there's a lot of questions when you're just getting started in this sport, in this lifestyle. So I thought I might list for everybody a few of the bigger costs. And just kind of let everybody know, look at this little twisty road. Oh, well, let's see where this goes. So I thought I would just try to kind of list for everybody a little bit of the overall costs and things like that that are involved with starting out. Obviously, the first one would be the cost of the dang motorcycle. And you guys know that I have pretty much covered that, but I'm going to cover it again. Ugh. See, we like to go on these crazy back roads and stuff like that. I've never been down here before, so at least I know where I'm at. I won't get lost. I'm in Texas, right? So the cost of the motorcycle, and I guess, you know, there's a lot to that because it depends greatly upon what you really want. I mean, how big do you want to go? Now, if you're first starting out, I obviously recommend this, the Honda Shadow 750. It's got enough power that you're going to need. Which way, guys? Left or right? Left or right? Left or right? Let's go to the left. It's got enough power that you're going to need to kind of get used to, you know, riding. This is pretty down here. And you can pick these up relatively inexpensively. Mine is a 2003 Honda Shadow 750 Ace. You can look on, I guess, Craigslist or a bunch of other places and see. You can get them pick them up for some cases, depending on the condition they're in, the mileage, stuff like that. You can pick them up for, I don't know, under $2,000. And guys, to get started with a motorcycle, that's a low cost. Now, if you want something newer, you're going to pay more, and that's an obvious fact. But just to get started, just to learn, just to take your MSF course, which I highly recommend, getting started with something like a Shadow 750 is a relatively inexpensive way to not have to go into huge debt. I remember to turn off my signal that time. At a reasonably low cost. So I pulled over here in this parking lot to kind of give you guys an idea of when you're shopping for said motorcycle, some things that you really want to kind of pay attention to. And these are things that you want to pay attention to regardless of your knowledge. Like if you're a new person, things like that, these would be just some tips that I would definitely check when searching for your motorcycle. The first thing would be tires. Tires are going to be so super important to your safety. You want to check and make sure that around here you don't see a whole bunch of cracks. These are new tires, but you want to make sure, obviously, that they're holding pressure, they're not low, and that also you don't see a whole lot of hairline cracks and things like that around here, because that can mean that the tires are dry rotting. And dry rotted tires are not your friend, my friends. The next thing I would do is just do an overall walk around of the bike. Now, in older bikes, you're going to come up with a little bit more cosmetic issues than you would on a brand new bike, obviously. So that's something to keep in mind. Like down here, you get some chipping. I don't know if you guys can see this. Now, this bike I purchased from my father-in-law, so it has some blemishes on it, but it's really overall not too bad. I think when he purchased this motorcycle, he laid it down one time and it scared him, and it sat in his barn or his garage until I came along and purchased it from him. So you're going to look at some things, make sure that it's really not in horrible shape. Like I said, you're probably going to want to try to ignore some of the cosmetic things, but what you're looking for more than anything else is overall safety of the vehicle, making sure that it works good. Now, if you're buying a Honda Shadow 750, one thing that you want to keep in mind, there's two different types of motorcycles. They're air-cooled or they're liquid-cooled. The Honda Shadow 750 is got a radiator right here. So it is definitely liquid cooled. You want to make sure that you don't have any drips, any leaking underneath it. You want to check the engine down in here. If you see a lot of moisture and a lot of any kind of dripping or oil or a lot of moisture or anything like that, it's something that should throw up a red flag. I'm not saying that you can't buy the motorcycle and take it to a shop and have it looked at, but it should definitely throw up a red flag and maybe affect the cost overall of what you're looking at. But check the radiator if you're going to buy one of these. Another thing is down here, this is called the petcock. This is where your fuel is controlled. Obviously my fuel is on right now. To shut it off, you go like that, and that shuts the fuel off. And then if you go all the way up, it puts you in reserve. These typically can leak a lot, so you want to check for dripping and, like I said, just a lot of moisture, things like that. Check the overall sturdiness of your pegs. I don't know if you guys watched my last video or not, but the VTX 1800 that I was looking at, actually had tons of rust on the mounts here, which I did not like. Not for $7,900. But also down here is where your coolant is, so check your coolant level. Make sure that the coolant level's good. Check your chain, depending on the year. Make sure you don't have too much play. Make sure there's no flat spots on your chain. These are just once over things that you're definitely going to want to take a look at. And then you just go ahead and, if everything looks good to you, buy the bike, man. Take the plunge. Welcome to the community. But just some tips and things to take a look at. I mean, obviously the frame down here, make sure there's no cracks or welds in the frame that shows that it might have been wrecked at one point. Make sure that you have a clean title to purchase the motorcycle. You don't want to get yourself into a situation where something will be stolen or anything like that. Man, this is dusty. I really need to clean this. Whew. But yeah, just some quick thoughts. And I never mind walking around and looking at my motorcycle. So that would be your overall first startup cost, obviously buying the motorcycle. There's insurance that you probably should have on the motorcycle as well. There's plating the motorcycle, things like that. And guys, motorcycle insurance is really not that expensive, depending on what company you go with. I usually just pay it out. It's like, I think I go through Progressive, and I think it's like $89 for the entire year. So I just pay the entire year fee out. That way I don't have to worry about it, and it's taken care of for the entire year. You probably will have to go have an inspection done on it before you... I'm going to go ahead and go straight here. I just freaked that guy out because I had my turn signal on. Don't do those things. It's a bad thing to do. Anyway, so then we're going to talk about gear next. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. How do you put a price on safety? If you can, buy new. It doesn't have to be the most expensive gear in the world. It doesn't have to be the top of the line moto racing stuff or whatever, but get good gear. I recommend highly Icon, Joe Rocket for jackets. Get armored jackets. Those are going to run you anywhere from about $150 to $250. But again, a good mesh jacket with a zip out liner for those colder days and stuff like that. You cannot put a price on that stuff, guys. You just simply cannot. The helmet, obviously, protect the noggin. There's so many to choose from out there, and there's a lot of good brands. We just bought my daughter an Icon helmet. Look for the rating, make sure it's rated well, make sure it's comfortable, make sure it fits. I recommend, obviously, unless you really know your head size and stuff, and you're brand new to this, make sure you go to a place like Cycle Gear, your local shop, where you've got some knowledgeable people. Like with my daughter and my wife, when we just went, we had them measure their heads, make sure they fit right. And then from there, once we found the proper fitment, of course, then you just get the helmet of your choice. Visors are always good for the sun, things like that, and there's so many to choose from. But just make sure you pick a good one. And so, this jacket right here, this Icon jacket, was $250 plus tax. And then on top of that, your helmet's going to run you. It can run you anywhere from $250, $300, $400, $500. If you get up to the really big name brands, showy, those are $700, $800. And when you're just starting out, guys, nothing says that you have to, spend that kind of money. You don't have to. But just get something good that's safe. And get used to wearing it, and get used to, and gloves. Make sure you got good gloves. These were not expensive. These are an Amazon purchase for, I don't know, I think I paid $40 for them. I think. Let's go north. No, yeah, let's go Northeast Parkway. Oops, sorry. Hello, everybody. I'm just a newbie today, man, honking my horn and doing everything, forgetting to turn my signal off. I'm just a mess today. Just a mess. But you want to get yourself some good gloves that are going to have some knuckle protection like these do. Also some really good padding, because think about it, guys. If you go down, what's the first thing you're going to do is put your hand down. You're doing 50 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour, and you put your hand down on the concrete, it's going to shred your gloves. So you want some protection for your hands. You don't want to lose any fingers. So there's my idea of just some startup costs and expenses. Get the bike, get the gear. Get the bike, get the gear. I recommend Honda. Everybody knows I'm partial to Honda that watches my channel, and there's some good reasons why. Go back and watch Buyer Beware, my video on the Honda Shadow 750. I go through a list of things that are really awesome in regards to this motorcycle, and I just love the V-twin Honda Shadow 750. I love Honda products because they make good products, and they're pretty much bulletproof, guys. I'm sorry, they just are. You don't have much to worry about, and when you're new starting out, you want to have more ride time than you have trying to learn how to rebuild the engine, right? So, and there's other great brands out there. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on any other brand of motorcycle at all. I'm just saying that for your money and what you can get for your first bike, get something that's going to last you. Get something that you're not going to always have to worry about leaks and, you know, all those bad things that are going to cost you even more money, because you're going to be laying out some money. So let's say you lay out $2,000 for the motorcycle, okay? And you lay out another, I don't know, guys, $500 for gear, just starter gear. Get yourself some good boots. That's the other thing too. Make sure that they have composite on the toes. Make sure that they're going to fit your foot and give you some afforded protection. Boots, to me, are something that are a little bit of a conundrum, because if you like to get off your bike and walk around like I do, you don't want those big stiff boots that you can't hardly walk in. They're great for riding and great for protection, but they, you know, they're just not fun to go sightseeing in or go walk around a park or go see something cool. So always keep that in mind as well. So let's say you drop $500. Now you're into the sport for about $2,500, and the next thing that I highly recommend you do that's going to cost you is going to be a motorcycle safety course, a beginner's course. They're offered at colleges. You can look them up online. They have them all over the place, and they are worth their weight in gold. I cannot remember now, since it's been several years ago that I did this. But I rode for years without taking a motorcycle safety course, and my wife was like, why don't you go take one? And I was like, I don't need a motorcycle safety course. I've been riding for 20 years, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? I learned a lot. I mean a lot about safety, about lane position, dressing, as they said in my course, for your accident, wearing the safety gear, all those things. So I learned a ton. So never think that you're too old to learn something new like I did. Plus, once you pass the course, which is not hard, not really, pay attention, you know, pass the test, do the riding part, they give you this little certificate, and all you got to do is take it to the Department of Motor Vehicles, show them that you passed, and you get a little M on your driver's license, which is great for when you want to go to dealerships and do test rides, because they want to see that M on your motorcycle. on your driver's license. They want to see that you passed that course, because it shows them that you reasonably know how to ride a motorcycle with some amount of safety. And you can be trusted to take out their $15,000 motorcycle on a little road trip, a little road test. So there's tons of benefits. Plus you get discounts on insurance if you have passed a motorcycle safety course. And it's just good sense to take one. So whatever that cost is, let's say we could probably get into the whole thing for, depending on what you buy, what you find, stuff like that, for maybe $3,000. Okay, for $3,000 you can begin to do this. And then there's add-ons and all the other things that you can get, which you can see I've added so much stuff. I got tire pressure monitoring system. I've got a nifty little drink holder that I just picked up, and it's awesome, even though I don't have a drink in it right now. One of the guys on that's in Elvis Boy, Into the Sunset, he's in a motorcycle club, and one of the guys he was talking to was showing this, so I picked it up. It was $20 on Amazon. And you can have your coffee and your drinks and all that stuff for those longer rides and those hotter days. So, just some tips on getting started. And this is kind of a response to a lot of questions that have been asked about this. How do I get started? What about the bike? And it doesn't have to be a Honda Shadow 750. It can be a Rebel 500. I would recommend that if you're new and that you haven't really ridden in a while, or that you have never ridden, that you get something that's going to have some power to it, but not super heavy. Something that's a little bit agile, something that you can control. Take it to your high school parking lot. Do some slow speed turns and just get used to it. Ride around the neighborhood before you hop on the interstate. You know what I mean? Common sense. But anyway, that's just my take on some things that you can do to get started in this lifestyle. Sorry about that. I'll edit that. Everybody, when you're watching these videos and you're seeing these people like me or whoever that you like riding motorcycles, everybody kind of gets a picture of what they see themselves doing. They see themselves on back roads. They see themselves on the track. Do you see yourself, I don't know, highway driving, long distance, going to places that you've never been before and that you really want to see? You're going to figure it out as you go along with this process. But getting started is just some tips that it doesn't have to cost you a freaking arm and a leg to get started doing this. You get tired of the 750 and you want to get something bigger. You get tired of the Rebel 500, go to the 1100. You can get an 1100 Honda Shadow. I'm going to step up to the VTX 1800 for longer distance rides with more comfort for my bride and I. I guess what I'm trying to say is that your riding style and what you like to do will develop as you do it. But getting started is the biggest thing. And there's some cost involved. So keep that in mind. Don't skimp on the bike though. Get a good bike. Get something that's going to last you, that you're going to be able to go out and enjoy. It's going to start every day, especially if you need a daily commuter or something like that. But and don't skimp on gear, guys. Do not. Just don't. There's too many people like this person right here that's not watching me. They just went ahead and decided to back out anyway, and then they mouth, "I'm sorry." The safety gear is paramount. Because, let's face it, we all want to be able to get home safe. We all love our family. We all love not being in pain. and this is inherently dangerous. Anyway, guys, I will quit rambling on this one. If you like this video, let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a comment and let me know what you think. If you want to see more about getting started on the motorcycle and more accessories and things like that, let me know. I don't know if you guys noticed, I put the old windshield back on. I just like it so much better than that little one I bought. The little one I bought just seemed cheesy and cheap. Say what you will about windshields. They give you wind protection. And they give, in my opinion, a more comfortable ride. Alright, I will quit blathering on. You guys have a wonderful day. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff to catch more of my ramblings. I hope everybody gets out there and rides. And remember, guys, like I always try to remember to tell you, it's really not what you ride at all. It's not what you ride. It's that you ride. Everybody take care. We'll see you next time.